Hey, hi, and hello, guys. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Cynthia, and I love to crochet. On today's episode, I'm actually going to teach you guys how to crochet. So I hope you guys have your hook. I hope you have your yarn. Let's get started on this video. I'm pretty excited about today's episode because we finally get to pick up that hook and your favorite color yarn and we can do some crocheting. If you watched my first episode, you learned a bunch of new abbreviations that you may not have heard of before, but these are abbreviations that I think every crocheter should know. I'm going to throw them up on the screen right now. So for today's episode, we're going to go through each and every one of these abbreviations and I'm going to show you what it actually looks like as a stitch. For today's video, I'm going to be using fairly inexpensive acrylic yarn that I picked up from Michael's. I live in Canada. I don't have a Hobby Lobby or a Joann's, and I wish we did. But I managed to pick up loops and threads from Michael's. It's about $4.99 or $5.99 a skein. You get a pretty decent amount, so it's great for beginner crocheters. It's very soft. This is the color Butter. I know it looks like a sunshine yellow on the screen, but it literally looks like the color of butter. And then with this yarn, I will be crocheting with a 5mm hook. If you look on the label of your yarn, it usually tells you the weight and the suggested hook that you should be using with it. So for the loops and threads weight for acrylic yarn, they do suggest a 5.5mm hook, but purple is my favorite color, so I'm going with 5. All jokes aside though, if you are creating a project and it does specify a hook size for the yarn you are using, be sure to use that hook size because what they're trying to get you is to have the proper gauge, especially if you're making clothing. You want to make sure you don't waste all that time crocheting all those stitches just to find out that your piece of clothing is too small or too big. But since today I'm just demonstrating certain stitches, I'm going to use the 5mm hook. It'll make my stitches look a little tighter and therefore hopefully make it easier for you guys to actually see where all the stitches start, where the posts are, and how to do chains and how to count stitches, and all that shows up really clear. All right, so enough of this talking stuff. Let's just get right into the video. I'm going to change my view, grab your hook, grab your yarn, and let's go. When you are starting to crochet with a brand new skein, I do suggest using a center pull method, which is basically just grabbing the tail from the center so that way your yarn doesn't have to roll around and make a big mess. This is super helpful, especially if you have pets, so you don't have your yarn getting all dirty, rolling all over the place. You can also cake your yarn if you prefer before you start. Some people like to ball their yarn and then use a crochet bowl and just have their yarn kind of free rolling in one of those. But when I'm just working on a table, I like to just do a center pull. Don't be scared of the yarn barf. Yarn barf happens. That's just basically when you go to pull the center and a whole bunch of yarn comes out. Not the end of the world. Just grab your tail and you can continue from there. This will, for the most part, stay pretty untangled unless you play with it too much, and then you're just going to end up tangling your yarn. So just work with your end, and if need be, put your project down for a second, figure out that knot, and then continue. So before we begin our tutorials for today, I'm going to show you guys how to hold your hook and your yarn. I will let you know everybody does this differently. I crochet different than other crocheters on Instagram. I crochet differently than my mom crocheted. I've seen one-handed crocheters. So find the position that works best for you. If how I am crocheting doesn't feel comfortable to you, by all means change it up. There are many different styles. Not one single style is the right way to do it. Everybody does it differently. Just take into account, you know, your joints. Every once in a while you do want to put the crochet hook down. You want to do some exercises, loosen your joints, loosen your wrists. If you do find that you are getting a lot of pain in your hands as you crochet, it may be beneficial to get compression gloves that kind of help with the circulation in your hands. But do make sure if you are doing a large project that you do put it down every once in a while so that you can do some stretches and get some of the tightness out of your hands. So the way I hold my hook and my yarn, it's weird explaining this to people because, like I said, everybody does it differently. But basically, I hold, like I've had people use the thumb grip where they hold it kind of like a knife, and it's almost like you're stabbing into your your crochet work. I hold my hook like a pencil. So if I were to write, I hold my crochet hook that exact same way. The only downfall that I have come across with using it this way is that you do end up getting calloused fingers because of the pressure on your hook, or the pressure of your hook and the friction of the hook on your fingers. But it's just what was taught to me when I was really young, and it's what's continued to be comfortable for me. I also hold my yarn under my hands here, and I have my yarn pinched between, like it's let me demonstrate it and then you can replicate it if need be. It's hard to describe how you crochet. So I'm just going to start here with a really quick slip knot. Don't worry, I will show you guys a way to do this that's much slower. I just want to show you my yarn and hook position as I crochet. So I do use my thumb and my finger to hold my project nice and tight so that I have good tension. Like I said, I hold my crochet hook like a pencil, and I kind of cramp up my last 3 fingers, which I know seems extremely uncomfortable, but I've just been doing it for so long, it's comfortable to me. And then I use my index finger to almost glide my hook to pick up the yarn. So this is how I crochet. If that's not comfortable for you, I have also seen others who will hold the yarn between their thumb and their middle finger, and then they will put, the tension is like caught under their pinky with their finger pointed up, so that they are now grabbing the yarn this way instead of from their finger. Like I said, I don't crochet this way, so it's uncomfortable for me. But if this is a choice that you guys want to go, by all means, go for it. It may be more comfortable for you. You can also grab it as a knife and pull it through, which honestly I think is a little bit easier when you're using the finger point up method. If you're using the finger down method that I use, I do find holding it like a pen or a pencil is easier. But yeah, let's get going. All right, so the very first abbreviation that I told you guys about was MR or MC. That stands for magic ring or magic circle. This is usually the beginning of any amigurumi project or anything that starts in a round. So if you are making a bag or a hat, you may have to start with a magic ring. To do a magic ring is fairly straightforward. Take your yarn, you're going to put the tail in your hand, and you're going to use the rest of the yarn that's attached to your ball. You're going to wrap it around 2 fingers, come back around, and wrap it just in behind that thread. Hold on to it, use your hook. You're going to go under that first yarn, and then you're going to grab the yarn that's in behind and pull it. Now you have like this little loop that's on your hook. You just do a little twist just to secure it, and you're going to pick up the tail that is attached to your ball and bring it through your little loop. So that is how you do a magic ring. The beginning of an amigurumi project most likely will ask you to single crochet 6. Single crochet is the next crochet that I'm going to be teaching you. It's usually abbreviated as SC in crochet patterns, and this is how you do a single crochet. So first, you're going to have your piece. Now this is from working in a round. I will show you how to do a single crochet when we do the chain as well, so you can see the different ways of doing them. So this is working in a round because we have our magic circle to start. This first little bit here is not counted as a stitch. So keep that in mind when they are asking you to single crochet 6. This little loop here does not count as a stitch. So to do a single crochet, you're going to take your hook, you're going to insert it into the circle, you're going to yarn over your yarn, which means your yarn goes over your hook, and you're going to pull it back through that hole. You're going to have 2 loops on your crochet hook, then you're going to yarn over again and pull it through. That's a single crochet with a yarn over. Let's do it again. So through the hole, yarn over, pick it up, 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through. Now I'm going to teach you the yarn under, which is usually a preferred method for amigurumi because it does make your stitches a lot tighter. So if you have issues with tension or if you have issues with stuffing coming out of your amigurumi, a yarn under may be beneficial for you to try out. So to yarn under, you're going to again put your hook through that hole, and instead of yarning over, we're going to put our yarn under our hook, and we're going to pick it up. You can either yarn over or yarn under and pull through. I prefer to yarn over and pull through. And there's a yarn under. So we'll do that one more time. We're going to put it through, yarn under our hook, pull it back through the hole, still have 2 loops, and we're going to yarn over and pull it through. So now we have yarn over single crochet and yarn under single crochet. If you are ever lost and are wondering how many stitches have I made, I don't know how to count them. You're going to look at the top of your project. You will see a V shape. Every finished V is a stitch. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 finished V's, which means we've created 4 stitches. I'm just going to complete 2 more single crochet. We're going to do a yarn under just to finish off. So there, now we have 6 single crochet. To close up your magic ring, you're going to take the tail end and you're simply going to pull. You'll be left with something like this. Now, depending on your pattern, they may require you to slip stitch and then do a chain 1, or you can continue in the round, which is usually how all of my patterns work. It's just a lot easier and all of your seams are a lot cleaner. So if you are doing a slip stitch, which is another term or abbreviation that we learned in the first video, you're going to put your hook into the next stitch. Oh, having some troubles here. Hang on. There we go. Into your next stitch here. You're going to yarn over, pull through that stitch, and then you're going to pull through the 1 loop that's on your hook, and that is a slip stitch. The next abbreviation is a chain. This is usually something that follows a slip stitch a lot of the times when you are ending a round. So to do a chain, you're not going to put it through any stitches. You're just going to yarn over and pull it through your loop. One more time, we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull it through our loop. So those are considered chains. So just like we did with the magic ring in the beginning, this first couple of chains normally does not count as a stitch. The pattern you are using will let you know, however, if they do count that as a stitch or not, because some patterns they do. But when we're working in a round and just going up, normally, no, it doesn't. So we're going to now create 12 half double crochets around for our second row. So we start with a chain 2 for our half double crochet. To do a half double crochet, which is normally abbreviated as HDC, we're going to yarn over our hook. We're going to go into our first stitch and we're going to go through our stitch, yarn over, pull the yarn through. You should have 3 loops on your hook now. Yarn over and pull through all 3 hoops or loops, whatever you want to call them. So we are going to do 1 more half double crochet in the same stitch. So yarn over, go back into that same stitch, yarn over and pull through. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So having 2 stitches in 1 stitch is also known as an increase, or an abbreviation INC. You will see these a lot, especially when doing amigurumi, when you are building and manipulating all the shapes to make the heads, tails, arms, legs, whatever it is that you are making. An increase and a decrease are definitely going to be part of your pattern, so I do suggest learning this one for sure. So we're basically going to continue and do 5 more increases, or 2 half double crochets in each of the next 5 stitches. All right, so there is the end of row 2. If you are ever unsure how many stitches you've just created, again, look at the top of your work and look for the finished V's. So we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 stitches, which is perfect for round 2. We're going to do a slip stitch at the first stitch here on the top of that 2 chain that we did in the beginning of the round. And we're just going to yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop. This closes and finishes off round 2 so that we can move on to round 3. So to do round 3, we're going to be doing double crochet, and we're going to be doing an increase to 18 stitches in round 3. So to do a double crochet, abbreviated as DC in most patterns, we're going to do a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. Again, that does not count as a stitch. We're going to be working into our first stitch in our row here. So again, you're going to yarn over, insert into your stitch, yarn over and pull through. This is very similar to the half double crochet. You will have 3 hoops or loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2, which leaves you with 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the second 2. And that is our first double crochet. Now, an increase in the third round, we are not going to increase in every stitch. Instead, we're going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch, double crochet. I'm already confusing you guys, sorry. And then in the next stitch, we're going to increase. So we're going to do another double crochet and 1 more double crochet in the same stitch. Okay, we're going to complete that pattern for the rest of our row until we have a total of 18 stitches for round 3. So your next double crochet will be in 1 stitch, and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch. You will notice as you begin to crochet in a round that each round is basically a multiple of 6 when you start with 6 single crochet. Row 1 is 6, row 2 is 12, row 3 is 18, row 4 is 24, so on and so forth. So the first round is just 6 single crochet. Your second round is 6 increases, which is 2 stitches per stitch. Round 3, you're going to have a single stitch and then an increase, a single stitch and an increase. Round 4, you're going to have 2 single crochets and then an increase, and so on and so forth. So if you ever get lost or confused when you are doing your rounds, knowing your multiplication table is really going to go a long way. You'll know you've counted correctly if your last stitch is an increase. And again, if you just want to verify how many stitches you've created, just look for the completed V's on the top of your work, and you should have 18. So now we're going to do a slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 that we did in the first round there. Slip stitch. If you were using all the same stitch, this would lay flat, but because we're varying the sizes of the stitch, it's creating a dome. And finally, for our last row here, we're going to be doing a series of treble crochets, usually abbreviated as TR in a crochet pattern. So we're going to start with a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because this is also our 4th round, we're going to be increasing again. So for our first stitch, we're going to do 1 treble crochet. Second stitch, 1 treble crochet. Third stitch, 2 treble crochets. So to do a treble crochet, we're going to yarn over 1, yarn over 2, insert into your stitch, yarn over and pull through. You will have now 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2. You should have 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through the next 2. You should have 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through the last 2, and that is a treble crochet. So again, we're going to do 1 more treble crochet in the next stitch. So yarn over twice, insert your stitch, yarn over, pull through. You got 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Our next stitch here, we're going to do 2 treble crochets in the same stitch. Yarn over twice, so there you have 1 segment of our repetition for round 4. So you're going to continue that pattern of 1 crochet, 1 crochet, 2 crochets, 1, 1, 2, so on and so forth until we have 24 stitches in round 4. Double stitch. All right, so there we have it. We're going to do a slip stitch on the top of the 4 chains that we did to close off our round. And there you have it. You should have this little dome. So this was the single crochet, half double crochet, and treble crochet. You also learned an increase, and you learned how to do a chain and a magic circle. The last stitch that I want to show you guys how to do is how to do a decrease. Decrease is normally abbreviated as DEC, or they will even write decrease in the pattern itself. So to do a decrease, we're going to choose a fairly simple stitch. So we're just going to start with a single crochet. So we're going to start with a chain 1. So in our first stitch here, we're going to do a single crochet. Then we're going to do a decrease in the next stitch. So to do a decrease, you're going to insert your hook through 1 stitch, yarn over and pull through. You will have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to go into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. So you have 3 loops on your hook, but the first 2 are in 2 stitches. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you guys can see that. Next, you're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 3 stitches. And it basically turns the 2 stitches into 1 stitch. And that is a decrease. So again, we're just going to do a single crochet in the next stitch. And we're going to do another decrease in the next stitch. So again, through your stitch, yarn over and pull through. You're going to go through the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. So you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3. And this is how you decrease. And you'll notice that your little dome here is starting to close up. This is usually how we work it to make a ball for a head, or when we are closing off arms or legs or tails, or if you just need something to shrink as you crochet instead of growing, you're going to do a decrease. And then we're just going to slip stitch to finish the round. We're going to cut a tail and we're going to pull through our yarn. And that is how we fasten off, and then we're going to weave in our ends after. So for today's project, you should be left with this cute little dome of different stitches. I'm going to show you guys also how you create these stitches if you are working in a chain. This was working in a round. This was not working in a spiral though. I will save that one for another video. So here's how you do your stitches if you are starting with a chain. So to do a chain, we're going to start with a slip knot. You're going to take your yarn, tail end in your hand. We're going to use the other end attached to our ball to make a little loop. Okay, pinch where it crosses, and then that tail end connected to your ball is going to go through your hole. And then I want you to hold on to the tail and hold on to that loop that just came through the hole, and you're going to tighten it. You should be left with something like this. Next, you're going to grab your hook, put it into your hole, and you're going to pull the yarn tail that is attached to your ball, not the short tail. And it should come right up on your hook. Now we're going to do 10 chains. So to chain 10, again, you're just yarning over, pulling through your loop. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there you should have a chain of 10. Again, if you're unsure how many you've made, just count the completed V's that you see, as those are all stitches. So now we're going to work backwards, and we're going to start with a single crochet. So obviously we can't crochet in our first chain from the hook, this one right here, because it's just going to cancel out what we already have on there. So we're not going to start with that one. We're going to start in the second chain from our hook right here. So you're going to insert into the second chain from your hook, yarn over and pull through. You should have 2 loops and pull through. Go into the next stitch here. We're only going through that top loop because there's no real foundation in a chain. So you're only going through 1 loop instead of 2 like you normally do when we are working on a project. So again, you're just going to yarn over, pull through, 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the 2 loops. So there's 2 single crochets in the beginning of our work. Now let's move on to a half double crochet. Again, yarn over on your hook, go in through the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. So you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 3. Do that one more time into the next stitch. Perfect. So now we have 2 single crochet, 2 half double crochet. Next, we're going to do a double crochet. So again, yarn over, go through your stitch, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, go through the first 2, 2 loops on your hook, go through the second 2, and there's a double crochet. We're going to do that again into the next stitch. So you can kind of see this varying size of stitches. This is a great way of making leaves. If you're making flowers, this is how I make my leaves. It's just a variation of these stitches. So the next one, we're going to do a treble crochet in the next 2 stitches. So we're going to yarn over twice, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. You're going to have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2, and do 1 more treble crochet in the last stitch here, or second to last stitch, I should say. So there you have 2 single, 2 half double, 2 double, and 2 treble crochets. It makes this V shape or a fin or a leaf. Whatever you decide to use these variations of stitches to create is up to you. All right, guys, that's the end of how to do some of the stitches. I hope you guys were able to follow along and that the instructions were clear. So you should have this hilarious little dome thing and a fin. You could kind of almost make a fish. But yeah, so those are just the simple abbreviations that I believe every crocheter should know how to do when you are brand new coming into a brand new pattern or a project. You're most likely going to come across those terms. If you ever do get a project and you have absolutely no idea what it is telling you to, you can look on YouTube, look on Google, you can check out other abbreviations. I will be covering other stitches and other patterns as we continue through this, but I want to ease you guys in. So for today, we're just starting with our chain, our single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, treble crochet, increase, decrease, magic ring. You're all set. Your arsenal is packed. You are good to go. So yeah, go grab a very easy beginner-friendly no-sew pattern. I do have a few in my Etsy shop. If you would like to give them a try, by all means, go right ahead. I also have a free heart pattern currently on my Instagram feed. So if you want to give that one a try, it basically works with just single crochet and then increases and decreases. There is also a join. So I will be creating an amigurumi tutorial soon so that you guys know how to join pieces together. We're also going to teach you guys, or I'm going to teach you guys, who's we? It's me. I'm going to teach you guys how to sew on pieces. I know a lot of patterns these days are no-sew, and they're great for beginners. I absolutely love a no-sew pattern, but they're also very boring, for lack of a better word. I mean, every single one of your amigurumis are going to be posed in the same position. You're going to have kind of like the arms out and the feet just attached to the body. There's no way to make them posable or have them sit or do like cute positions. So the no-sew patterns are fantastic. By all means, load up your shelves with your no-sew amigurumi patterns, but make sure you don't shy away from amigurumis that require sewing as well. Your world opens up so much when you know how to sew. So we will cover that in a future video. Today was just a basic one. I'm going to stop talking now because I'm like getting obsessed and just wanting to basically throw everything at you guys in one crochet video, which I know is dumb. So I'm just going to stop talking And leave it in the comments below if there's anything else that you guys want me to cover. Like I said, I am just starting you guys really slow. We're going to work our way up, and eventually we're going to all be intermediate crocheters by the end of this series. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You guys are awesome. Love you. Bye.